Hey, this is Yulia and welcome to my channel. Today we're talking all things working in Canada as an international student. We're talking about work hours, salaries, benefits, work culture, and much more. So if you're a student coming to Canada and looking for a part-time job, then keep on watching. But let's start with the basics. For those who just joined this channel, first of all, welcome. Second of all, as an international student, you are allowed by law to work 20 hours per week when you are studying and 40 hours per week, meaning full-time, when you have your days off. For example, you studied till May and your next semester starts in September. This period of time, from May to September, you are allowed to work full-time. To work legally in Canada, you will need a few essentials. First of all, your study permit. Study permit is basically your piece of paper that says this person can work. Second of all, you will need your social insurance number. You can take a look at this video. I've explained everything, how you get it, all the kind of stuff. Go watch it. You will also need a SIM card so your employer can call you, and you can also call the companies and ask about job postings, about like interviews and stuff. And another thing that you will need is your bank account. Your salary will be either deposited to the bank account, or you can be old school and ask for checks, but I'm not quite sure if anyone does that because it's a lot of, paperwork. It's easier to just deposit the money to your employee's account and that's it. As for the minimum salaries, they start at around $14 an hour, but it always depends on the province. It always depends on the industry. For example, if you're planning to work at a restaurant, at a bar, they can pay you less, for example, $12 per hour, but you will get the difference in tips. So if, let's say, you checked online and your province says $14 is the minimum wage and then the company offers you 12, well, most likely you'll have tips. But please bear in mind that this is a gross salary, meaning your employer will deduct certain things from your paycheck, like taxes. But please don't worry, when you file your taxes, you might even get a refund. Taxes are normally filed around February till April 30th, I think, like beginning of May. But taxes is a whole different story. If you want a video about filing your taxes in Canada, stuff like that, please let me know in the comments and I will film you a video about that. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing to this channel and liking this video. This will help me a lot. And let's continue. As for the benefits for part-time workers, normally there are no benefits, but some companies offer, let's say, some kind of health plan. Bear in mind that it's gonna be just like a tiny, health, dental, maybe something like kind of stuff. It's not gonna be, the insurance covers like 80-90% of your claims, stuff like that, because you are a part-time worker. But please check the career section and check what company offers. So let's say you found your perfect job, you are ready to apply. What does the interview process look like? First of all, it's gonna be a few calls, screening calls, so the HR can get to know you, learn more about your experiences, what have you done in your past. The next one would be an on-site interview. Some companies still do Zoom interviews because, COVID is still there, but it's gonna be a more practical interview. There's gonna be a bunch of people and they're gonna interview and give you some kind of situations. For example, a customer approaches you with ABCDE problem, how you're gonna resolve it. So that's an on-site interview. Some companies, for some jobs, might ask for a test. But chances are, if you're applying to be a barista or cashier, there will be no test. But if you're applying to be, a marketing intern, maybe like a designer, part-time developer, then yes, please be ready to take the test. Some of the perks of working part-time in Canada may include discounts for the products. Let's say you work at Sephora, sister, all those mascaras and the eyeshadows, you'll have a great discount for that. If you're working at Starbucks, I'm pretty sure you'll have some free coffee as well as some discounts for merch, for coffee beans and stuff. Another amazing thing is that you build your own schedule. Normally you would come, let's say Monday, and then say, okay, next week I have classes, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so I can work Monday and Friday. And then your manager will create a schedule for you. And another perk of working part-time or full-time, it doesn't really matter, overtime means double salary. If you're working on holidays, it's a double pay. If you're working overtime, it's a double pay. But if you are an international student, you still have classes, your limit is 20 hours per week. If you work 22, no bueno, my friend, you cannot do that. Where should you be looking for jobs? First of all, Indeed.ca. Second of all, Glassdoor.ca. Third of all, you can even use Google. Also, don't forget about LinkedIn, don't forget about companies' websites. So let's say you want to work at, I don't know, Costco. You can go to Costco and then check the careers page. You can always apply in store, in restaurant. It always depends on the establishment, because if it's a franchise, let's say Starbucks, most likely if you go to Starbucks, they'll tell you to go to the website and then apply, and they will never get back to you, you know, it's like a long chain of stuff. But if it's a local Giovanni restaurant, then Giovanni will take your resume and that's basically it. No, like, you know, chain applying, stuff like that. Also try checking Facebook groups. Sometimes people are like, oh, I'm looking for, like, you know, a designer for like 10 hours to like fix my website. You can check your college's ad boards. For example, my college had some kind of like, you know, board with all those listings about housing and like part-time job, stuff like that. But also you can go on campus to, let's say, international students section, to student association and say, hey guys, I'm looking for a job, are you guys hiring, stuff like that, because you can also work on campus. And as I've mentioned before, you can apply online, in person, through networking. If a friend of yours is working at Tim Hortons, you can be like, hey Jack, are you guys hiring? Like maybe you need some, I don't know, dishwasher or like a cashier, and he can talk to the manager. So maybe he can connect you with the manager and then you can apply for that job directly through a Tim Hortons store rather than going again online and applying to like 10 different things. Ooh, and don't forget to update your resume to a Canadian one, because Canadian, aka North American format, and European, they like completely different. If you haven't already, this video was made for you. I talk everything format, like what should be there, what shouldn't be there. So please don't forget to update your resume, because if you put your beautiful face on a resume, chances are the HR gonna be like, next, because in Canada you're not supposed to attach your pictures to the resume because they can discriminate you and not hire you, blah blah blah. So go watch this video. And a few tips slash things to know before coming to Canada, before getting your part-time job. First of all, get experience right now. Right after you finish watching this video, go apply for a job. Because when I came to Canada, I had only like, you know, office jobs. I never really had a chance, you know, to work part-time, only when I was in States, working at White Castle and Dairy Queen. But I never really had this like, you know, part-time experience. So when I started applying for jobs, people were like, okay, but can you like sell coffee? And I'm like, but I was selling, you know, this and that. I was like an office manager. I was doing blah, blah, blah. And they were like, but you never served coffee. We cannot hire you. I was like, well, okay, thank you. And also get some references from those places of work. Because again, if you don't have any references, if you just came to Canada, you literally know no one in the country. You need to have some kind of like person saying, okay, Miss Yulia knows how to serve coffee, she knows how to sell clothes, she can work for you. So that's another thing. Even if you haven't worked and you just volunteered, ask your managers for reference letters. They will do good for you when you'll start looking for a job. Another important thing to know, small cities equal less jobs. Big cities equal more jobs, but more competition. So if you're planning to go to, I don't know, Niagara-on-the-Lake, you'll be like, okay, small city, I'm gonna find a job. The thing is, the jobs, the part-time jobs, they are already taken by other students. If you go to Toronto, well, there are much more restaurants and stores and whatsoever, so there are more jobs for you available. But again, competition might be high, so you will most likely spend more time on looking, applying, and getting a job. My favorite tip of all times, look for jobs during the holiday season. Honestly, every Christmas, every Easter, every Mother's Day, I walk in Montreal and there are huge signs, hiring, hiring, help needed. So plan your job search around those times because I'm pretty sure, oh, especially Black Friday, you're golden. Go to a mall and check the stores who are looking for help. The thing is, if you start during this difficult / busy times, they might offer you an actual position, a part-time position, because I think for holidays it's just a contract, like for example for a couple of weeks or like 4 weeks. So go look for a job before Black Friday. Another thing is do your research. I was stupid enough, so when I was applying for jobs, I was like, well, I know they serve coffee, I know they sell like t-shirts. I didn't do my research, and then when I came for interviews, they're like, okay, tell us what you know about us. And I'm like, well, you sell coffee. And they're like, what else? And I'm like, in Canada. They're like, what else? So please do your research, know what's up, know a brief history of the company, know some values, like what are they looking for in the employee. Read the job description, so when the HR asks you about like why do you think you are the best fit for the role, you'll be like A, B, C, D. And don't forget to prepare for your interviews. Research sample questions and write the answer, because I think the questions are pretty similar everywhere you go. Why are you the best fit for the role? Did you have prior experience in whatever you're applying for? What are your weaknesses? So all the basic stuff. So do your research, prepare the answers, so you're not being me and be like, I just want to work for you. And please don't skip the cover letter. I've made this mistake. Literally, I don't even know how many times, because I was like, who cares about cover letters? Like, I mean, I'm the best. Clearly, you should hire me. But that's my way to, like, you know, explain the company, the HR, whoever. That's why Miss Yulia is the best candidate for the role. I have this one page to convince basically the employer to hire me. So please don't skip that step. It's very important. And always be strategic and think one step further. For example, if you want to work for Amazon full-time, you can start with internships. Yes, it's free, unpaid job, but then you can apply for a part-time job. But then you can eventually get a full-time job from the company. Or you want to work at like Canadian Tire. You're like, okay, I can start with just a cashier and then make your way to being a store manager or maybe like a department lead whatsoever. So try thinking beforehand, because let's say if you work at Giovanni's restaurant, I think you're gonna be a server for a long time because Giovanni is not promoting you to be the CEO of Giovanni's Pizza. But if you go to a retail store, again, you can make your way up to lead or manager positions. And this is it for today. If you guys still have any questions about working part-time in Canada as an international student, well, you know what to do, and I'll see you next week. Bye!